Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Kaylin Danielle and Shadow, obviously. Okay, say what's up, Shadow.
Hey man, I ain't even trying to be on camera. I just want somebody to rub me. Hey, you always trying to put me on camera. Hey.
No, you're supposed to be saying hi to the camera.
I ain't
right
trying
there.
To no freaking camera, man.
There.
Just rub me.
Over here. Do you listen?
No, do you listen?
Right there. Fam. Okay, so obviously this is going to be the Kaylin Danielle and Shadow show today. Or something like that.
Put me down. Hey, put me down.
So today's video is going to be a little bit more serious than other ones. And I'll probably be doing different stuff like this on my channel a lot. But one thing that has been on my heart and on my mind that I wanted to speak on was depression. I really wanted to touch this topic because there's a lot of people that deal with it. My dog. There's a lot of people that deal with it. I've personally dealt with it, and it's just something that I wanted to speak on. So as far as talking about depression today, I wanted to talk about how social media has helped me get through dealing with depression and anxiety. A lot of people today feel like social media is a big negative. A lot of people view social media as demeaning. They see it as a very big, like I said, a big negative. And for me personally, I found ways to utilize social media for a positive reason, and actually it's really helped me out over the last 2 years as far as dealing with my depression and my anxiety. So just a little backstory about me. I began dealing with depression when I was about 17, 18 years old. Most of the time when I was dealing with it, I did not know that it was even depression. Just being honest with you. Had no clue that it was depression that I was feeling. I just knew I was sad. I was sleeping a lot. I was barely eating. Like, when I tell you I didn't have an appetite, I wouldn't eat. My mom would literally have to beg me to eat something, or she tried to force me to eat like crackers, or she'd be like, at least eat some soup or something. I didn't eat much, so I lost a lot of weight at some points. I didn't really want to be around a lot of people. I tended to isolate myself a lot for the most part, and I stayed to myself, and I was just in a very dark place, a very dark place. And it took a toll on me for a little while. I didn't really know that I was depressed. I just knew that something was wrong. And so to me, I just felt like, let me isolate myself, let me stay to myself. I felt like I was in a very negative headspace, and I didn't want to project that onto other people. So I felt the best thing for me to do was to confine it. So when I tell you, I literally lived in my room. I lived in my bedroom. That was just that. I didn't go out and hang out with anybody. Barely talked on the phone with anybody. The people that was close to me barely heard from me anymore. People would contact me. They text me. I didn't respond back half the time. And that was just literally my life for a little bit. And then I ended up going away to school. And things didn't quite get better. I was still dealing with it. Being away helped me get out of my box a little bit more and not stay confined to a room, but I ended up dealing with the pressures of feeling like I wasn't good enough for the people around me. At the time, I was in a dance program, and as people always say, you are your own you are your own worst critic. And for me, with dancing is something that I'm passionate about, but it's hard not to compare myself to other dancers or what other people are doing. So, and I ended up really taking that stuff to heart, to the point where I dogged myself mentally every day. I was not happy with my body. I was not happy with who I was. I didn't feel like I was a good dancer. I judged myself really bad. And I ended up working out a lot. As you all saw in my previous workout video, I worked out a lot, and that was part of my depression, was trying to occupy my mind. It was trying to focus on something else, and my body was a big part of it. Like I said, I was very insecure with my body, so I felt like, let me work out, let me pop these squats, let me do some push-ups, like let me run this treadmill for 30 to 45 minutes every single day, even though I was doing dance classes for at least 2 to 3 hours every day or every other day. That's a lot of cardio. I got really skinny. I got really skinny. I am 5'9", first of all. My height is 5'9", and my weight went down to about 125. So I was very skinny.
Okay. Here you go again.
Hold up, fam. You straight rude. That's just rude. That's rude.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. You mad. You mad.
Okay. So, yeah, that was part of my depression. Over the last 2 years, this was about 2013, 2014, it's now 2018. Around 2015, I began discovering a lot of different things that began to help me. And it wasn't me going to a therapist. I've tried that. It wasn't me going to a psychiatrist. I have never tried that. And it's nothing that I'm against. I've went to a therapist before. I sat down and I went to several, actually. I went to several therapists to try to help me get to the bottom of why I was feeling how I felt and just trying to better maintain things. And I'm gonna be honest, I think the mindset that a lot of us go into as far as going to a therapist, we go looking for someone to give us this clear-cut plan and guide as far as how to live our lives, how to get out of the tough situations that we're in. We look for this guidance for someone to literally lay the groundwork for us to live our lives in a better way. But really, they're there to be a vessel for you to vent, to actually just for you to hear yourself speak so that you can start to realize things on your own. But for me, that wasn't what I needed. I vented enough as it was, and I already spoke about a lot of the things that bothered me. I just didn't know how to go about bettering myself, getting out of that mindset that I was in, and just dealing with the anxiety and depression that I was feeling in general. So there was different things that I began to turn to. One of those things, one of the big things that I found was using social media. So for the first thing that I began turning to, I began looking on my Twitter. And a lot of times I would vent to Twitter. Twitter was my venting ground. I got on Twitter. I had Twitter fingers, but it wasn't for a bad thing. I just vented. I spoke a lot about how I felt, me not being happy. I would talk about the things that I was dealing with, but it would be very subliminal. And it was just a venting source for me, honestly. But then I began to search for people that spoke positively. So there's someone that I follow. Her name is Alex L. I follow this guy named Melanda Jean Claude, Rob Hill Sr. I started following their Twitter accounts, and I began just every single day I would go on their Twitter and I would start reading through their tweets, because a lot of them had motivational tweets, a lot of them had self-betterment tweets, self-improvement tweets, or things that I related to personally. So it went from me getting on Twitter to vent to me going to find something to look at that I could relate with and something that would brighten up my day. And that was just a start for me. So it went from Twitter to me going on my Instagram, and I would search for these same individuals, and I would actually end up finding more. I began finding positive affirmation pages. What's a page? But anyway, if you actually go on my Instagram now, Kaylin Danielle, if you actually go on my Instagram now, you will see in my following list that I follow positive affirmation pages. I follow motivational speakers. I follow like I said, Alex L., Rob Hill Sr., I follow all of them and a lot more people, so that when I do log on, the first thing that I'm not looking at on my Instagram is something negative. I see positivity. I see somebody that's trying to help improve the world or trying to help me grow. I see something that's going to help me grow, something that'll make me think, something that'll get my mind going for the day, and trying to figure out how I can improve myself. And it went from me using Twitter to going on Instagram to a big thing that I turned to was using YouTube. I got on YouTube. YouTube, honestly, watching people's YouTube videos helped me through a lot. Like, a lot. I got on YouTube and I began searching for videos of people that dealt with depression, for people who had anxiety. I began looking up ways to cope with it, and I came across a ton of different videos, and I began watching those videos, and they honestly helped me. And some of the videos that I found in particular are some by like Les Brown. He's a motivational speaker. I began watching his videos. I began watching just different YouTubers who, how can I put it? There's this YouTuber, her name is Isabel Palacios. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. If you ever watch my video, because I think you're dope. But I began watching her videos as well. And on her channel, she talks about manifestation. She talks about creating vision boards. She talks about pretty much how your mind guides you through your life, how you can manifest anything that you want. She talks about a lot of that stuff, and I began directing my mindset and my attention towards a lot of those videos and trying to internalize it. And one of the biggest things that I got out of all of that was meditation. I began meditating, and I had a mentor a few years ago, and he was the one that actually talked to me about meditating. But it wasn't until I started getting on YouTube and I began watching other people learn how to deal with certain things in their life and just trying to get in touch with their self. They began meditating. They would talk about meditating. They would talk about the 7 chakras, like all that stuff. And I began doing it myself. And I think that's one of the greatest things that I've taken away from social media as a whole, was to take those positive affirmations and meditate on them. See how I layered that? I took from what I got on Twitter, the positive messages that I got, and I took the meditating, and I began using that as a daily source. And I'm trying to get back into it, because as I began working a full-time job, I haven't been able to meditate as much as I wanted to. But when I tell you, it literally turned my life around. There was a point in time, it was about 3 years ago, I had gotten into an accident. I was on a bus. I was dealing with depression. I was really in a dark headspace. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible. But I just wasn't happy. And I was dealing with the relationship that I wasn't too happy with at the time. And I was dealing with stuff at home that was affecting me. And I just wasn't happy with my life. I wasn't happy with myself at all. And it was just one of those times in my life where I had a big question mark over everything. I was just like, who am I? What am I? What am I going to do? What's going to happen with this relationship? What's going to happen with this person? What's going to happen here? Everything was a big question for me. I didn't know. So this one day I was on a bus, and I was headed to class, dance class at that. And I don't know what the bus driver was thinking. She thought she was going to run the red light. Obviously, it's a big whole bus. You cannot run a red light. And there was like a ramp for people getting off the highway. So obviously they had the right of way. She thought she was going to run through this red light, and we got hit by an 18-wheeler truck. That day changed everything for me. Honestly, it changed everything for me. That day, I feared my life. I was terrified. I had never been that scared before. We all have moments where we're afraid, but it's not until you literally fear you losing your life in one of those moments, when you know everything could just change in the snap of a second. You do not know what fear is until you feel that. Like, I was terrified. I was scared. Like, I thought that I was going to die. Like, it was bad enough I was already terrified of trucks as it was. But to sit there and literally, I'm on my phone texting. I was texting my boyfriend at the time. And I was sending him this super, super long message because I was in my feelings and stuff was just kind of thrown out of whack at the time between him and I. And I was in the middle of sending him this message, and it was something in my mind at the time saying, Kaylin, don't send this message. Just let it go. Let it be. Leave it alone. Don't worry about whatever is happening with you two. Just let it go. And I had this long message, and next thing I know, I heard people screaming. People were literally screaming, and I looked up, and I saw this truck hitting the side of the bus, and I just sat there and dropped everything and grabbed onto everything around me, and everybody got thrown to the floor. It was really hectic. And so after that, I was hysterical. I was crying. I was out of it. Like, I sat there. I was like this. Like, my mom came and got me, and like, I got home. I was just traumatized. I was like, silence. Freaking silence. Did I even eat that day? I don't know, because I eat a lot. Anyway, so I got home after that accident, and the rest of the day was just pretty much like in disbelief. That's what I spent that day. I was in a lot of disbelief that day. And so the next day, I don't know what it was, but I felt this huge surge of energy. It was a whole different energy shift in my body that I felt that I had never, ever, ever felt before. And I don't know what it was, but remember I got on YouTube. I started watching some videos, and the next day I woke up and I had this huge energy shift, and something told me to start meditating. Something told me to start finding positive affirmations, start looking for positive people, and that's what I began doing. And after that day, I felt this huge sense of awakening. I felt this huge sense of alertness. I felt more in touch with myself. I felt more in touch with the world. Like, when I tell you I felt everything, it was the most amazing time in my life, and this went on for like a few months. I was in one of the best headspaces I had ever been in my life. I was so in tune with myself. I was there. Like, I was there. I would go outside. I can literally, and it sounds crazy. It really does sound crazy. I felt the energy from the trees. I felt the energy from the leaves, and it was also fall too. I felt that. I felt other people's presence. I felt peace. I was at peace. I was at so much peace. Like, y'all just don't understand. I have so much peace. It was amazing. And every morning and every night I would meditate. I would meditate every morning and night for about 10 minutes. And meditating at nighttime, it helped me sleep throughout the night. So I wouldn't wake up tired. I wasn't waking up all throughout the night. In the morning, it helped me start my days off better, meditating with a clearer mind, more relaxed. Like I said before, I have anxiety, so I wake up in the morning and I would have anxiety. And my anxiety isn't to where I'm having panic attacks, I'm laying on the floor freaking out, or, you know, going crazy or anything like that. My anxiety is when I wake up, or there's moments in my heart's racing and I can't control it, and I'm freaking out a little bit in my head, but most of all, my heart's racing and my body just feels like it's just going like this. So I would wake up with anxiety a lot of times, and me meditating helped soothe that. It really helped calm me down a lot in the morning. And so, like I said, this went on for a few months, and then something happened, I don't even remember, but took me out of that headspace. And then about a year ago, I began getting back on YouTube again, and I began using, there's actually a lot of videos on YouTube that will help you meditate. There's a ton of YouTubers that will help you and teach you how to meditate. They will also enlighten you and teach you about your 7 chakras, which I can touch on in a different video. It will teach you about the energy in your body and just being more aware of yourself. It teaches you a lot of different things that a lot of people aren't aware of. And like I said, the meditation was one big one for me. The second big thing that I took from YouTube was listening to other people's stories. There are so many people out here that is going through the same things that you're going through. I mean, somebody's probably even watching this video right now and they're like, wow, I never knew she dealt with depression. And I still deal with depression to this day. Is it as bad as it was? Absolutely not. But I have moments where something can happen and my mindset will change in a snap of a finger. I can be cool 1 second, something can happen, and I am in the darkest headspace that you can imagine. Like, it can be anything. It can be something small. It can be me getting into it with somebody, or there being an issue with me and someone. It will just take me from being where I am right now to being in a very dark headspace. But the difference between who I am now and who I was 5 years ago, I know how to pull myself through it, and I know how to deal with it so that it's not something that is prolonged on for weeks or months or years. I know how to pull myself over it, well, out of it, after about a day or two and go on with my life. I know how to manage it now. My anxiety, I know how to manage it now. I don't wake up every single day feeling like my heart and my mind is in a frenzy. I know how to get up and meditate and go on with my day and be okay. I know how to calm myself down. And like I said, YouTube helps you relate to other people. Instagram helps you relate to other people. Twitter helps you relate to other people. It's just a matter of seeking those individuals out and putting yourself out there to find that, and taking the time out to read things, to seek things. That's another thing that social media did for me. It brought to my attention different books. When I tell you, I began reading a lot more from social media because I became aware of the different books and things that was out. I began reading a bunch of books, but this is just a few. This is one of them. It's called Write It Down, Make It Happen. This book is just pretty much about creating goals, setting them, and sticking to it. That's one of them. My favorites. You Are a Bad... I'm not even going to say it. No, I'm going to say it. You a badass. You a badass. But yeah, I love this book personally because she talks about... Who's the author? Jen Cicero. She talks about her life, and she uses her life as a template to help you get through your life. She talks about the struggles that she went through in building her brand and bettering herself and having to boost herself up as a woman. Like, she talks about a lot of stuff, and it helps you reflect on your own life. Now, this book is more so about, he labeled it Healing Your Heart After Disappointment. I love this book because it helped me reflect on myself and who I was being in a lot of my relationships. So this book kind of teaches you about relationships. It teaches you about who you should be in a relationship and who you shouldn't be, who you shouldn't be with in a relationship. It talks about a lot of that stuff. But I read, and I have a ton of books. I have a ton of audio books. I have stuff on my iBooks. Like, I read a lot, and it's all because of social media. And I'm going to be honest, I used to read a lot as a child, and I had actually stopped reading for a very long time, and being on social media helped me get back into reading. I got inspired by the people that I was seeing on my social media. A lot of them are authors. I'm like, let me go pick up this book and let me go read a little something. Social media has also set as an inspiration for me. The more people that I see doing things that I aspire to do, the more I see people being positive. Like, I love seeing positivity on my timelines, on any platform that I go on. It inspires me to be better. It inspires me to be like whoever I'm watching, because I know the person that I want to be, and I'm aware of what I need to do to get there, or I have an idea of what I need to do to get to where I want to be. So I try to follow the people that are already there. You need to follow the people that are already where you want to be at, so that you have somebody that you can look up to, somebody that you can model after, someone that has what you already want. You cannot try to follow the same path as somebody that's not trying to achieve the same things as you are. So one of the things that I'm doing right now, I'm wanting to do YouTube. I've been wanting to do YouTube for years. I kind of stopped, and just didn't stay consistent with it. So one of the things that I'm doing now, that I'm trying to get really serious about it, is I'm watching other YouTubers. I'm watching people who are already where I'm at. I watch a lot of YouTubers who put out some of the same things that I'm wanting to put out as far as content. I'm trying to find ways to better my content so that I can have a growing YouTube and genuinely bring in genuine people that are interested in seeing what I have to put out. So I'm trying to model after what's already out there from people that already have it. YouTube has helped me get more inspired to even start my own YouTube channel again, or to start back with my YouTube channel again. So I wanted to make this video just because I do feel like people take social media as a big negative. Don't get me wrong. There's been plenty of times I need to just remove myself off of social media altogether, because it can be a distraction. It can put you in a negative headspace and have you questioning yourself, your self-worth, questioning your relationships with people, questioning your life, your future, your dreams, everything. It can have you questioning a lot of things. It can have you in drama. I mean, social media can cause a lot of things. But overall, social media, if you know how to use it right, if you know how to look for the right things and guide yourself towards certain things, more positive things. Social media does not have to be a negative influence. It can be a very positive influence. I'm 23 years old today, and I have dreams and goals that I'm going to accomplish. Like, I'm going to accomplish it. Mark my words. Like, it's just going to happen. How? I don't know, but I'm figuring that out right now, and I'm doing what I need to do that I know of right now to help me get to where I want to be. But social media does not have to be a negative influence. It's literally all about how you choose to use it, how you utilize it. If you use your social media to troll people, to put out negative, to give out the tea on somebody else's life, or to put people on blast, or to demean other people, then that's what you're going to invite into your life. Those are the kind of people that you are going to attract to yourself. What you put out is what you're going to receive. What you put out is what you're going to receive. You got to know that. If you want to have a positive life, live a positive life. If you want to have a better way of thinking and you want to boost yourself up, then that's what you need to start seeking out. As far as what you have on your social media, the people that you surround yourself with. You are what you believe you are. You are what you think you are. You are what you allow. I encourage everybody who wants to do better and who wants to do better. Did I just repeat myself? I encourage everybody who wants to be better and who wants to do better to start looking into the positive sides of social media, to start finding people who encourage you. Do that in your personal life anyway. Do that with the people that you surround yourself with on a day-to-day basis. Surround yourself with positive people. But stop going on social media looking for the tea, looking for the shade, looking for the people that's talking smack about somebody else. Or don't go on social media to compare yourself to the next person. If you go on there, pull up a positive affirmations page. See what they're talking about. It's out there for a reason. Don't let it be a negative one. Try to utilize it. We're all human. We're all going to make mistakes at the end of the day. But honestly, when I tell you social media helped me with my anxiety, my depression, I'm not saying it cured everything, but it definitely helped me find ways to get through the things that I was dealing with. And it still does to this day. I've used it as sort of a therapy for me. And I'm not telling everybody to go use this as a therapist. I'm not saying don't not go to a therapist. Don't, go to a doctor if that's what you feel you need to do. But I found personally this is what's helped me, and this is what has helped me get through a lot of things, and it might help someone else. Use it as a tool. Use it as something to help you out, but do not make it your end-all be-all. But if you learn how to utilize it correctly, it can definitely be a tool to help you for the better, honestly. And I'm glad that I found it. I'm more grateful for the fact that I began turning to YouTube for a lot of things, because a lot of the people that are on there, they will give you some good speeches. They will tell you about life. Heck, a lot of them will even have you sitting here like, Dad, are you living my life right now? Like, are you me? As a tool, use it as a platform, use it to get your word out, use it to hear other people out, use it to connect, use it to relate. And yeah, say bye. No, say bye.
Hey man, where my treats at? I'm just here for the treats.
Alright, bye y'all. I'll see y'all in my next video. I hope y'all please like and subscribe, and even turn on my notifications just because. Alright, peace.